Welcome to Hashtag. Today I'll be doing the current affairs class, the first session for this new year, and wishing you all happy new year 2020. Let's start with the class today, and in this class we'll be discussing 15 questions from the last 2 to 3 weeks, and taking up some of the important questions from national and international current affairs. The questions will come on the screen for you, and you can see the questions one by one with the answer options. You can participate in the quiz here by posting your answer options once you read the questions, so that you can check how well informed you are regarding all the important affairs in the world. So let's start with the first question. The question will come on the screen for you, and this is based on the international current affairs here. The nine dash line, which is to be contested at the UN, is in which water body? So look at the question here. It's talking about something from the international current affairs called as the nine dash line, and this is something that is being contested at the United Nations. And the question is asking you, in which water body does it lie? Is it the South China Sea, the North Atlantic Ocean, East Philippine Sea, or the Arctic Ocean? Have you ever read about something called the nine dash line? If you know about this, and if you have read about this, you can post the answer in the comment section. If you're posting the answer, you can post the answer with the question number. Like for example, question number one. If you think the answer is B, you can say 1B or 1C or 1A, depending upon what is the right answer. If you have never heard about this thing, this is important information from current affairs in the world. You can note down the question, at least write down what we're talking about here, the nine dash line, and then take down the correct answer. The correct answer here is South China Sea. This particular line that we're talking about is in the South China Sea. Oh, all right. So here the correct answer is answer option A. You can note down the answer, and this what we're talking about here, the nine dash line, and it is in the South China Sea. As you can see, this is a region that is surrounding so many of these countries which lie in the South China Sea. For example, we have China, that you can see here quite clearly in red, and then we have here Vietnam, which you can see in the color blue, and then we have Taiwan, then Philippines, then Brunei and Malaysia. So all of these nations are the ones which have some you can say some stake in the region of the South China Sea, and there has been a long time some international controversy going on regarding the actions of China in terms of capturing this area. So you can see some of these small islands are there, what we call as a collection of islands and archipelagos. We have the Parcel Islands, the Scarborough Shoal, and the Spratly Islands. And you can see in this these circles that on the screen, that there are different areas of these islands controlled by different countries. For example, Parcel Islands are controlled by China, Taiwan, and Vietnam. And the Scarborough Shoal, these are very small reefs and small islands, and a lot of man-made islands are also now being developed by China, particularly in this area called as the Spratly Islands. They're developing a lot of man-made islands and building and weaponizing them, making air base in these places, and that is what is causing a lot of concern for these countries around the South China Sea. And the area that is basically the contested area is represented by this line which has got the nine dashes, and that's why this is called a nine dash line. Okay. India had also raised its objections towards China's attempt to sabotage the entire South China Sea, because billions of dollars of trade goes through this area, and also because China is basically setting up air bases and militarizing this entire place and making a number of man-made islands. Most of the countries, even the UN, US has also raised its concerns regarding this particular problem. And recently, in the Indian Ocean Conference IOC 2019, which is organized by India, and you can see here this basic information that you should note down is the Indian Ocean Conference was held in the month of September 2019, and it was in the in Malé in Maldives. That's also one information that you can note down. Where was the conference held? Indian Ocean Conference IOC 2019 was held in the month of September in which country? Then the answer would be Maldives. And which city? The capital of Maldives, that is Male. That's again an information that is very important for you and useful for you. And then we have here another piece of information regarding the what is called as you can also look at the topic of discussion, the fourth edition. This Indian Ocean Conference was the fourth edition of this conference, and it was basically about securing the Indian Ocean region for traditional and non-traditional challenges, mainly to assert India's control over the Indian Ocean and also to raise concerns about the encroachment of China in the Indian Ocean, which India has always objected to. So this is something again which can be an important GK question for you regarding the Indian Ocean Conference, which was held in the month of September 2019 and in the country called as Maldives. So it's the fourth edition. And let's also note on something more about this 9 dash line that can be very useful for you regarding this particular thing called as the ITLOS, that is International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea. Is a UN monitored tribunal, International Tribunal for the Law of the Seas, ITLOS. As you can see here, it came into existence in which year? 1994, and it's based on what? It's based on the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, that is UNCLOS. So ITLOS is based on the Convention of the United Nations, and it's called UNCLOS, and it came into existence in the year 1994 on the 16th of November. And this is the convention and the treaty tribunal which looks after all of these different disputes between countries with respect to usage of sea for business or for defense purpose. What you can also note down here from this slide is the headquartered in Hamburg, Germany, and there are 168 countries who are, you can say, signees to this particular treaty, the ITLOS, International Tribunal for the Law of the Seas. Right. So we have seen here three things. First of all, the 9 dash line is in South China Sea. It has been in news from a long time, and recently also there was a lot of discussion regarding this, particularly after the Indian Ocean Conference was held in the month of September 2019 in the country of Maldives, in the capital of Maldives, that's Male. And again, this comes under this disputed area which China mostly controls, and China believes that it has undisputed right over this particular area, represented by the 9 dashes on the map, which is why it's called the 9 dash line. And the International Tribunal, which looks after these different types of disputes regarding the usage of seas and ocean and water bodies, the International Tribunal for Law of Seas comes under the United Nations Conventions on the Law of the Seas that was signed in the year 1994 with 168 countries, and the ITLOS is a tribunal which is headquartered in Hamburg, Germany, and there are 168 countries who are part of this tribunal. So an important piece of information regarding current affairs and international affairs particularly that can come in exams even like UPSC, CLAT, and for exams like that. Okay, and most of the exams for current affairs are there. This could be a very likely question. So let's move on now to the next question of the day, and you can see what this question is about. This is the USA's legislation called as Duska, provides for sanctions against which country? This DASCA, which is basically American legislation from a long time with respect to the state of Russia. So you can note down this DASCA legislation provides for sanctions against which country? And this particular legislation called DASCA is for which country? The answer is Russia. So answer option is A. Okay. So A is, and why was it news recently? Because I think in the on the 18th of December, there was legislation that was tabled. The bill was tabled in the U.S. Congress, called the DASCA Act, and it was basically to focus on something called as the a Nord Stream 2, NORD, Nord Stream 2 is a pipeline that goes from Russia to Germany. This is an oil pipeline called as Nord Stream 2, NORD, Nord Stream 2, a pipeline that goes from Russia to Germany, and that's why it was in news. So when you read about Duska and you Google it up and read about the latest news about Duska, you'll get to see both the things. You get to see the Nord Stream 2 as well as the Duska Act, talking about Russia and what Russia has told about this particular legislation. Let's move on to the next question now. Question number 3. This is from the field of entertainment, and recently the 66th national awards were given, and here this question is based on the 66th national award. So which film has won the best Hindi film award? The question is here, which film has won the best Hindi film award at the 66th national film awards that were given out in Delhi by the President of India? And you have 4 options here: Andhadhun, Badhai Ho, Uri, and Padmavat. So which movie has won the best Hindi film? So focus here on the category that we're talking about. We're not saying the best film, we're talking about the best Hindi film award. And the correct answer here is the movie Andhadhun, right? The answer option A, that's the name of the movie, is Andhadhun. You can note down the answer. The best Hindi film award in the 66th national awards is the movie Andhadhun. I'm sure you must have heard about this movie, or you must have watched movie starring Ayushmann Khurrana about a musician who pretended to be blind, and very interesting story. It's a crime thriller. Answer option A, Andhadhun. Let's move on to the next question now. Question number 4. Okay. So in question number 4, we have again another question from the field of entertainment, and this question is again about the National Film Awards. Which person who won the Best Direction Award for the National Film Awards at the 66th National Film Awards given recently? Who won the award in the category of Best Direction, National Film Awards? The options in front of you are Sanjay Leela Bhansali, then we have Shriram Raghavan, then we have Aditya Dhar, and also we have Amit Sharma. Famous directors who have made some really remarkable movies that have come out in the last year. So if you have read about this particular thing, about the National Film Awards, you would know the answer. Who has won the Best Direction Award? If you know the answer, you can post the answer in the comment section. If you are not familiar with the answer, you can note down this question: the Best Director Award, National Film Awards 2019, and the answer is Aditya Dhar. Answer option C, Aditya Dhar is the correct answer. And are you aware of which movie Aditya Dhar had directed? If you know, you can post that name of the movie in the comment section. Let's see if you know about this movie or not. This person, Aditya Dhar, was won the Best Director Award. What is the name of the movie that Aditya Dhar directed? What is the name of the movie that Aditya Dhar directed, for which he got this particular award? If you're not sure about the answer, if you don't know, note down the answer. The name of the movie, very popular movie, brilliant movie, and the name of the movie is Uri, and the full name is Uri the Surgical Strike. So Uri the Surgical Strike, which did phenomenally well at the box office, making it into a huge blockbuster, a critically acclaimed movie also. And again, for this particular movie, Aditya Dhar won the Best Direction Award for the year 2019. So here we have 2 questions, both based on the National Film Awards. Let's move on to question number 5 now. Let's see what do we have in question number 5 for you. Okay. So when is National Farmers Day observed in India? Rashtriya Kisan Divas, or National Farmers Day, is observed on which of the following days? Is it on the 21st of December, 22nd of December, 23rd of December, or 24th of December? When is the National Farmers Day? Day to celebrate the contribution of farmers in our country, because India, you know, is still, we say that it's a Krishi Pradhan country, the country which is largely dependent on agriculture. More than 50% of our workforce is employed in the agriculture sector, the primary sector of our economy, right? Okay, so to celebrate the contribution of farmers, to create awareness about the problems of farmers, this day is observed every year on the 23rd of December. So note down the answer. If you don't know the answer, the correct answer for question number 5 is answer option C, that is 23rd of December. Okay, why is it celebrated? Why is it observed on the 23rd of December? Let's see about that a little bit here. So every year on 23rd of December, we can see here why it is a birth anniversary of former Prime Minister Chaudhry Charan Singh. So to in the honor of former Prime Minister Chaudhry Charan Singh, who had championed the cause of farmers in the country, on his birth anniversary on the 23rd of December, India observes every year the National Farmers Day, Kisan Divas in India on the 23rd of December. Okay, he had championed the cause of farmers, and that's why he was known also as the farmers leader. Let's move on to question number 6 here, and let's see what do we have in question number 6 for you. What is the name of the common currency recently announced by Western Africa? So some of the countries in the Western Africa have now come up with a common currency that they will be using for most of their business and official transactions. The question here is, what is the name of this common currency that the Western African countries will be using now? What is the name of the currency? There's the four options are there. One is roll, one is eco, one is coin, and one is nat, N-A-T. What is the correct answer for this question? What is the name of the common currency for Western African countries? The correct answer, if you are not familiar, write down the question first. The common currency of Western African nations, and the correct answer is ECO, E-C-O, E-C-O. And the way you can remember this is that 8 countries, E is 8 and CO countries, 8 countries are there who are going to use this common currency, ECO, 8 countries, ECO. Okay, so ECO is the name of this particular common currency that has been launched by the West African nation. How many nations are there? 8. Okay. Question number 7. Who among the following won the presidential elections in Afghanistan? So whenever any country has a new prime minister or president, it can become a likely question for you in your examination. Particularly so if that country is a neighboring country or a country close to India, so with which India has close ties, and also a country which has an important stake in geopolitical environment in the world. Which country is that? Who among the following won the presidential elections in Afghanistan? There are 4 options in front of you. We have Abdullah, and then we have Muhammad Salim, Ashraf Ghani, and Maqsood Alam. Who is the current president of Afghanistan? The correct answer is Ashraf Ghani, who has been re-elected now. So he won the election. He was previously also the president of Afghanistan, and now he has won it again. He has now been re-elected by a huge margin. Ashraf Ghani. That's the correct answer to question 7. C. Ashraf Ghani. Let's move on to question number 8, students. I hope you're following the class. You could just note down the few important things that are there. While noting down the question, at least you can say new president of Afghanistan, put a dash and write down the name of the person, Ashraf Ghani. This is right now we're covering the last 2 to 3 weeks, right from 21st of December till date. Most of the important current affairs in the world I'm covering for you in this one session, taking 15 of the most important questions that I believe can feature in your upcoming examination, whether you're giving the banking examination, you're giving staff selection examination, talking about the civil service examinations, CLAT, and other MBA exams too. So question number 8 here. Who among the following has recently been appointed as Foreign Secretary of India? Foreign Secretary is a very important post which takes care of most of the India's interest abroad, to deal with different countries, to pitch India's point of view, and to make sure that India has friendly ties with all of the important countries, and that India is able to rightly present itself in the international arena. So, who among the following has recently been appointed as a Foreign Secretary of India? And the correct answer here, students, what is the right answer? Who is the current Foreign Secretary of India? Correct answer is Harshvardhan Shringla. So, Harshvardhan Shringla has been appointed as the current Foreign Secretary of India. He will take over from January 29 and he will replace Vijay Gokhale. So this person Harshvardhan Shringla will take over from Vijay Gokhale on the 29th of January 2020. Okay, so that's a very important question. Question number 28. So we have gone through question 8. Now let's move on to the next question. Question number 9 for you. All right. I'm sure you must be aware of this, and you would have you can at least answer this question. Question number 9: who was named captain of Cricket Australia's ODI team of the decade? So, at the end of the previous decade, when the end of 2019, it's the end of the last decade, and now it's the beginning of the new decade for you. So, at the end of the decade, a lot of names were teams of the decade, captain of the decade were announced in Australia. And the question here is about who was named captain of Cricket Australia's ODI team of the decade. Options in front of you are MS Dhoni, Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers, Shakib Al Hasan. Who was named as captain of Cricket Australia's ODI team of the year? Focus here on the category we're talking about. The ODI team of the decade. Captain of the ODI team of the decade. What is the right answer? Is it MS Dhoni or is it Virat Kohli? I'm sure you must have heard about Virat Kohli, but the correct answer for this question is MS Dhoni. MS Dhoni has been named as the captain of the ODI team of the decade, whereas Virat Kohli has been named as the captain of the Test team of the decade. So both of the legendary players of India, our previous captain MS Dhoni and our current captain Virat Kohli, both have been honored with this distinction of being named by Cricket Australia as the captain of the ODI team and the Test team of the decade, respectively. The captain of the ODI team of the year, MS Dhoni, and not of the year, sorry, captain of the ODI team of the decade, MS Dhoni, and captain of the Test team of the decade is Virat Kohli. Let's move on to the next question, number 10 here. Who has become the new CM of Jharkhand, the new Chief Minister of Jharkhand? Just a week ago, the results in Jharkhand were announced, and a new government has been formed in the state of Jharkhand. And this government is an alliance mainly of the JMM, the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, JMM, which is a major partner, and the minor partner being the Indian National Congress, INC. And then other parties like the RJD and CPI, these are also involved in the government formation. The previous government was under BJP, and right now the new chief minister, the alliance between JMM and Congress. What is the name of the new chief minister? The correct answer is Hemant Soren. Answer option A. Hemant Soren is the current chief minister of Jharkhand. Okay, question number 10 we've done. Let's move on to question number 11. Which state has been ranked number 1 in the Good Governance Index released by the central government on the 31st of December? So, which state has been ranked as number 1? Now, Good Governance Day is observed every year since 2015, I believe. For every year, the Good Governance Day is observed on 25th of December. And on this day, the government came up with a list of different parameters on which different states and union territories in India will be ranked on the matter of governance, and then based on these parameters, which state was ranked number 1 in terms of governance in the entire country? Which state was ranked number 1 in governance? Options in front of you are Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, and Haryana. What is right answer? Which state was ranked number 1 in terms of governance under various parameters? by the central government of India, and the result was announced on I think 26th of December, a day after the Good Governance Day. So let's look at the correct answer is Tamil Nadu, and if you look at the uh, okay, so here we have the entire list of the 18 large states of India, and you can see the first rank is Tamil Nadu, followed by Maharashtra. Then we have Karnataka, Chhattisgarh. So at least you can learn about the top three. Tamil Nadu was the first rank, Maharashtra is the second rank, and the third rank is Karnataka. And on the right hand side, you can see that Tamil Nadu has topped in so many different parameters like public infrastructure, it's ranked 1, judicial and public security is ranked 1. It's normally fared quite well in the top 5 categories like public health, environment, and human resource development, and faring badly only mainly in commerce and industries where it's ranked 14. And it's ranked 1 overall, including all the parameters. And the second rank is from Maharashtra, third is for Karnataka. And if you look at the bottom of the list, among the 18 large states of India, the worst performing one is Jharkhand, and the 17th one is Uttar Pradesh. And these states like Bihar, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh have been a problematic states from a long time in India, right? Okay, question number 11 is done. Let's move on to question number 12. Which Indian Air Force aircraft was decommissioned on December 27th, 2019? Which Indian Air Force aircraft, which had participated in a number of wars and played a crucial role in the Kargil War, in which India was able to push back the Pakistani occupying forces and reclaim all its territories. So this aircraft, which you must have read about a number of times earlier, has been one of the main premier aircraft of India and has played crucial roles in a number of battles that India has been a part of. Okay, and now it has been decommissioned. So that now you're moving to the newer, better aircraft like the Rafale aircraft. So which is the aircraft which has been decommissioned? Is it Mirage 2000? Is it MiG-27, MiG-21, or MiG-23? What is the name of this particular aircraft which has been decommissioned? Mirage 2000, MiG-27, MiG-21, or MiG-23? The correct answer is MiG-27. Now, question number 12, the right answer is MiG-27, a very important question here, and from the area of defense, and we'll be taking some more questions from defense today. MiG-27, because MiG you may remember, but you'll forget the number. Sometimes it will be 27, 21, 23. Right answer is 27, and you can see here MiG-27 fighter jet, known as the hero of the Kargil conflict. So a major role was played by this fighter plane in the Kargil conflict, and made its final roll from Jodhpur Air Base. So that could also be a part of the question. From where did it take its last flight? From the Jodhpur Air Base on the 27th of December. Correct answer to question 12 is B, MiG-27. Okay, from which air base it took its last flight? The answer is Jodhpur Air Base. Question 12, the correct answer is C, B, that is MiG-27. Let's move on to question number 13, and you can see what is the question about. A very, very important question, and I'm sure you must have read about this. It was in the front page of all the newspapers, and it had a huge, you can say, screen time in most of the national news channels in India. Who has been named as India's first Chief of Defence Staff? So a new position has been created now, called as Chief of Defence Staff, that will be a highest position in the Indian Army, Air Force, and Navy. And this will be a kind of a collaborator, and you can say an overseer of all of these three different wings of the Indian defenses, and Chief of Defence Staff. So who has been named as it's India's first Chief of Defence Staff? Options are in front of you. We have Bikram Singh, Bipin Rawat, VK Singh, and Deepak Kapoor. Who has been named as India's first Chief of Defence Staff? You must have seen his pictures when he finally took up the office of the Chief of Defence Staff. A new uniform, a kind of a tilted hat, right? Who is this person? What is the answer for question 13? Is it A, B, C, or D? If you know, you can post the answer here. Who is the new Chief of Defence Staff in India? If you don't know, you can note down the question here. The first Chief of Defence Staff for India is General Bipin Rawat. The correct answer is B. Bipin Rawat is India's first Chief of Defence Staff. Okay, that's question 13 we have done now. Let's move on to the next question, question number 14. Again, a question based on the army, and now that Bipin Rawat, who was earlier the army chief of India, now that he has become the chief of defence staff, the new Indian army chief, India's new army chief, what is the name of, who has been appointed as India's new army chief? Four options are there in front of you. Manoj Mukund Narwane, Anil Kumar Sood, Devesh Chandra and S.S. Chandrasekhar, who has become India's new army chief after General Bipin Rawat took over as India's first chief of defence staff. New army chief, and just after assuming the office of the chief of army, the Indian army, he came up with lots of different statements regarding how India is all ready to strike terror camps across the border in Pakistan, and that India has full right and capability to, you can say, escalate wars without using nuclear weapons. So he's been in news the moment he came and became a new army chief. He was in the limelight, and there was first he got space in the first page, on the first page of most of the India's national newspapers for his comments regarding India's willingness and capability to go and strike as directed across the border to end the terror problems that India may face in the future. Question number 14, the correct answer is A. Manoj Mukund Narawane is India's new army chief. Another point that you could note down here about the previous question, that is regarding Bipin Rawat, and that is India's first chief of defence staff, is the age of retirement. The age of retirement normally is 62 for the other heads of the different divisions of the Indian defence forces. But for the chief of defence staff, the age of retirement has been set at 65 years. So you can note that down. 65 years is the age of retirement for the position of chief of defence staff. So that was an additional piece of information, very important one for you. Let's move on to question number 15 now. Which country recorded highest number of childbirths on January 1, 2020? I believe you can answer this question. Around 2 lakh children were born on the 1st of January. Approximately 2 lakh. That's what I remember. I'll give you the exact figures in the slide here. And out of that, which country recorded highest number of childbirths on January 1, 2020? Question 15 is the answer A, that is India. Is it B, China? Is it C, South Africa? Or D, Brazil? So on the one hand, we're talking about reducing population and bringing out a population control law, and then people are talking about how the population of the country is increasing, and on the other hand we see people lining up to have children born on particular dates, so that they can have a very nice birthday, the 1st January 2020. So India is that country, which is very unfortunate that India is, this is not something to be very proud about, but yeah, it's right. And India is that country which recorded the highest number of childbirths on January 1, 2020. If you look at the data here, you can say India recorded birth of 67,385 number of kids on January 1. India was followed by China, which is quite far behind India. It's 46,299, and Nigeria at 26,039. And this number is 17% of total kids born in the world on that particular day were Indian. Almost you can say 1 out of 5 kids in the world born in India. So that is a very dubious distinction to have. 67,385 kids born in India. That's the kind of record that we don't want to have in the future. So that's 15 questions for you. Answer to question 15 is A. So that's all about current affairs from the last 2 to 3 weeks, from 22nd to 23rd of December till date. I've covered most of the important things for you. I hope this will help you in your upcoming exams. Very important questions. In addition to that, you should have a habit of reading newspapers frequently. At least go through the front page, take down the important things which are happening on a day-to-day basis, and also be abreast with the business affairs. So read the business page, and important sporting events in the world also should keep a note of that, right? Anyhow, every Saturday I'll bring to you the current affairs class, in which I'll be covering all the important highlights, you can say, of that particular week. So students, we'll end the session here for you now, and the next